car, when you get in and out of a car, and I just mentioned I have old disc issues. The hardest thing is trying to get your body weight supported while you're twisting and dipping down into the car. And the only thing you have to grab onto is either the top of the window of the car, the door handle down here.
Right.
There, reaching up underneath does not help at all.
Does not help.
Lou has a solution. It's called the Carcane Elite. We have not seen this in over a year. It's been 15 months. This is the all new and improved one. Brand new handle. All kinds of great extra features. But Lou, this is a perfect solution for anybody out there that has mobility issues.
Yeah, I like to tell people that this is the handle every car should have come from.
Totally.
Or come with, rather. Because if you think about it, there's no, like you were saying, there's no good place to grab when you're getting in and out of a car. And that's where the Carcane comes in, okay? Now, if you look at this, now this is a completely redesigned model for this year, okay? They went back to the drawing board. We haven't sold this in a couple years. They thought about a few things with this. For instance, if you look at the top of this now, it's much more square than it used to be. And they did that so that this would fit very well into the pockets on the side of your door, okay? Those little containers that we have on the side. There's a flashlight. There's a little red button here. It has an even brighter, I mean, the LED on this thing is crazy now. You've got right here a device to break the window should you, God forbid, ever get into an accident. You can do that. Seatbelt cutter built in here. But here, this is crazy enough. This is my favorite part of the whole thing. They redesigned the handle now out of a special foam. It's like a memory foam. So look at it now. It's like perfectly round. Watch this. If I grab this with my hand and I squeeze on it, look at the shape of that. It's memory foam. It goes right to the shape of my hand, and then it's going to bounce back. Now, why is that important? You're going to get a better grip with this, with that on there. And if your hands are hot, if they're sweaty, they're not going to slide off of this. And remember what I said about this? It holds up to 350 pounds. Now, Guy, let me show everybody how this works and where you're going to use it, all right? If you look inside of the door of your car, right where the door closes and latches, it's got this device right there. It's called a strike plate, okay? Every car has one. Car, truck, SUV, I don't care what you're driving, okay? They all got it. It's made so that the part that breaks the window, should you get in an accident, fits right in there and locks into place. It's in there securely. Now, I've got this handle that I can use with one hand, I can use it with two hands, whatever I've got to do, up to 350-pound weight capacity to not only get out of a car, but to get into a car so you don't fall into it.
It's absolutely brilliant, and you can keep it right in your little glove box.
Absolutely.
You can keep it right in that little stow area inside the door. A lot of people just have an injury, right? Maybe you broke an ankle, you twisted something, you got a sore knee, and you're like, I need the help. It's amazing how, like I told you, with my disc problem, if I just get in the car wrong, that thing drives me nuts. People have sciatica, they have all these different things. Now, obviously, this is not a medical product. What it is it's a helping hand. That's what this show is all about. When you get in, when you get out, it gives you that leverage. I mean, Lou, it gives you your independence back.
It gives you your freedom, and that's what do you know, like, so out of all the items that I sell, this one went away for a little while. Do you know how many people came to me and asked me where they could buy these? Asked me if they could get one of these for their loved ones, for their, if they're a caregiver, who've got older parents, grandparents, anybody like that. Or, you know who loves this too? Pregnant women. Because it's so, to get in and out of the car, absolutely. We get calls from people all the time asking about these. We finally got them back. But that is one of my my favorite features is now when you grab it, it molds to the shape of your hand so it's not going to be sliding on here. I've actually, when we used to demonstrate this outside, I've moved the car using that by putting into that strike plate on there. Now, the other thing about this too, when you think about it, you'll see people getting in and out of a car, right? But what are they grabbing? They're grabbing the door. They're looking for that weird strap that's always behind you and above your head. It's awkward. There's no good way to do it. If you are somebody that's a caregiver, okay, and you've ever tried, like my aunt, when she was living in an ALF, we had one of these I carried with me so I could get her in and out of my vehicle. You have to be really careful when you're grabbing somebody who's that old, in their 80s, their 90s, whatever, just because their skin gets very thin, and you can literally tear their skin trying to help them in and out. This gives them a place so they feel safe, they feel secure. Now, you definitely, it's great you're getting two of these because, if you've got older parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents.
More than one car.
More than one car, or one for both sides of the car. Mom and dad are traveling together. They've both got one so they can get in and out of their vehicle.
I'm telling you, now remember, you are getting two. You have your choice. They come in blue or they come in the red. But this is such a blessing to have for your parents. It's funny. As I was a young man, you never think about it.
No,
right?
you never do.
When your parents are like our age, right?
Yeah.
And they're still getting around, they're fine, and you never think anything's gonna happen to them. But then when they get, they get over 85 or 90, it really becomes difficult, And then, my mom's had knee replacements, she had hip surgery, all these things. She can use a walker,
right?
But she has a really hard time getting up and getting down. Her poor caregiver, like literally, who's little, has to try to pick her up off the car seat.
See, that's crazy.
That's tough to do. This makes it easy.
And the other thing too is if you've ever worked with somebody that's in a wheelchair, to transition them from the wheelchair to the vehicle is scary because they're literally floating in the air at a certain time between one and the other. No matter how close you get it there, having the car cane, they can literally grab this. And I mean, I'm going to turn this even more sideways so you can see this. They can literally grab this and use all the support. Do you know that the strike plate is one of the strongest parts of the entire car?
Oh, yeah.
It is mounted to the pillar that is in the middle of the car that is absolutely going to be able to hold not just their 350 pounds, but that car flips. It's holding the entire weight of the car, okay? So think about that. So you're getting one of the strongest places. Now, one of the other features I love is this right here, the flashlight. And it's a funny, wow, we talk about brighter this year. This thing is crazy, okay? And it's very unobtrusive. But here's the thing about the flashlight. If you live up north, right, and you get out of your car in a parking lot at night, you know what black ice is, right?
Oh, God.
Okay, so if there's black ice on the ground, they might get out and think it's asphalt and everything's cool, right? But they get out and it's not. It's black ice and they slip. And the next thing you know, we're talking about a broken hip, okay? When you've got the flashlight, even before you get out of the car, before you put it in the strike plate, you take that, you start looking around on the ground to see, and they'll know that it's there and they can avoid it and they can be careful. And you know what's funny, Guy? I love that these come in boxes here, so they're great as gifts. Years ago when we first started selling this, I didn't think of this as a gift idea. I'm telling you, I have given this as a gift to in-laws, to my parents, to several people, okay? Everybody who's ever gotten it loves it, and they always go, where has this been?
Oh, and the caregivers go crazy.
Oh, they do.
The caregivers are like, oh my gosh, that's gonna make life so much easier. I like this. I like our footage. And remember too that God forbid you ever get stuck in a car and you get an accident and the doors won't open.
Right.
And you need to get out of that car because it's filling with smoke or even worse, you're in water. You've got that window breaker. That's part of it as well.
The seatbelt breaker.
Yes, and the seatbelt cutter. So you have all those things. It's an emergency tool that every car should have, not just the seniors out there. And remember, up to 350 pounds, all right? Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Probably holds more than that because I'm
probably
telling you,
does.
These things are crazy durable. I mean, I can bang this thing down all day. And Lou is right. When you see the attachment, it's the strongest part of the car. This locks into place. And then look at how it adjusts to my hand.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, my gosh. That is so, it completely
Is it
adjusts.
crazy that we're so excited about that?
I just like it.
I think that's awesome.
Hey, for people that have arthritic hands and things like that, they want something comfortable.
Well, and you know what the other thing is that, so part of the discussion on why they did this is not just because if your hands get sweaty, if you're hot, you don't want them slipping.
Right.
But, and the other one had hard plastic on the bottom. So people were gripping it, and it was hard for them because as we get older, you get arthritis in your hands, or maybe you start to lose the fat pads. That's the other thing, like in your feet and your hands, those fat pads start to diminish. You need comfort. You need something that's going to be soft. So this is going to give you a better grip. You're not going to slip when you're holding this, and it just feels better in the hand. You're able to put your weight on this without feeling a pain go shooting up your arm, and that, to me, that's a huge deal that you can actually do that with this. And it's such a simple thing. It's such a simple design, but no one ever thought of this before. You know, one of the other things I love is this, and I talked about this a little at the beginning, is we changed the shape of the head. We actually made the head smaller because, better LEDs need less space now. So we made the head smaller, and this will fit into that cubby on the side of your door, so you can have them right there when you get out of the car. Your loved ones can have it right there. Just grab it, take it, and go. But like we were talking earlier, people have had surgery. If you've got someone who's pregnant in your life, I mean, these are just great things for them as well.
Lou, it gives you, let me, and you all know this, and this is what this show is all about. Ask any senior, 80, 90 years old, what do they miss most about what they had before? Every single one will tell you my independence.
Yep.
I miss being able to do things for myself. So if your mother or grandmother or you or your wife, your pregnant wife, whatever, needs a little help to get in. I love that shot right there.
Isn't that great?
Because especially with an SUV, because you got to lift up a little bit.
So
right?
here's the thing too. It's not just for people that are older or have been injured or had surgery or pregnant or anything like that. Sometimes if it's a small person that wants to get up into a big vehicle, it's a great handle to be able to reach up
for
and pull them in.
kids.
Yeah, or like me. I remember I used to have this little sports car.
Danny had a monster truck. I couldn't get in and out of that damn
See,
thing.
all right, so when I had my sports car, it was like, big guy in a little car. I was like trying, you know what I mean? I was trying to lower myself in there, and I would literally get to a certain point and just fall into the car. Something like this back then would have made so much of a difference, and I was perfectly healthy. It wasn't that. It was just that, just the physics of the whole thing.
Hey.
This makes it easier.
You get in and out of a car several times a day. I don't care how fit you are. It's not a good position to be in anyway.
No.
So use this at any time. Just pop it out.
Yeah.
It's a good habit to get into.
How
I
easy.
love that. Look, because you can, when my mom gets in and out of a car, she needs to do exactly that, square up.
And you don't want to grab the door.
So she goes from straight ahead to 90 degrees with her feet out the car. Now the next problem is, how do we get her up?
How do you get her up?
Seat?
If you grab the door wants to do one thing, close. You know what I mean? That's all it wants to do.
Yeah.
So you don't want to grab that. This is going to give you that extra lift, that extra traction when you're getting in and out of there. That's what makes this so great. And it's so crazy simple to use, guys, honestly. Once they've got this, they're going to be using this every single time they get in and out of. I forgot about one thing. Back in the day, when my grandmother was still alive, okay, we noticed after a while that she just stopped coming to family functions.
Right.
Like she didn't want to go anymore.
Embarrassed,
and
probably.
She was embarrassed because it took her so long to get in and out of the car, and then for us to get her, the whole thing. So something like this, I really would have given her more freedom, really wouldn't have given her independence back, and she would have enjoyed everything much more.
Hey, listen, everybody that orders one gets two. We're doing a 2-for deal here. It's a 2-pack, and this is the Elite, the updated model. All you have to decide is, do I want it in blue or do I want it in red? It may not seem like a big deal to you, but having that little bit of confidence to get in and out of a car, right? It's a big deal. And I love that analogy, because do you want your parents, your grandparents to stop coming in and just want to, they're so sad about their situation, they don't even want to be part of the family anymore? Get these.
Freedom.
$15 a piece, and you get two, and everybody needs two. 813-588 is the item number. Thank you, my friend.
You're
Glad
welcome.
to have this back. Great product.
Enjoy.
All right, real quick.